We've got a little custom wiring going on here. This wire runs from the MSD ignition box under the seat down to my ignition coil here, because the last autocross, the car broke down on track, and turns out my ignition wire broke somewhere under the car, so I had to bodge this. But I still ended up getting second place in driver's class with only 6 runs, so that was good. Anyways, I'm gonna get this wheel off, go underneath, and fix it. Really quick, some more Beetle update stuff. So this year, new things for the car. Rear disc brakes. At the end of last year, my brake drum on this corner here actually broke off and the wheel exited the car, which caused some body damage here. And so I went out and got myself a set of disc brakes for the rear. This massively improved braking. This kit is the CB Performance with the separate hub and rotor. This is a 914 rotor. I was actually pretty disappointed with this kit though, as far as price goes. This was like a $900 kit, super freaking expensive, and it came with a hard line that I'm supposed to bend myself to run to this freaking sliding caliper. The stupidest, I can't curse enough about this, it's really dumb. So what I did, let me say what I did after it broke, because it's a hard line, is I went out and I got myself a banjo bolt and a brake line. This brake hose comes up here and goes to a short section of hard line, like, I don't know, a good car would. And so this brake hose is off a Saturn, what is it, the Saturn Outlook or whatever. It's like, or GMC Acadia. It's a GMC, well, we'll say that, GMC Acadia front brake hose. And then this is just an M10x1 banjo bolt that I got from O'Reilly's. I had to cut it down a little bit to make it fit, but I've got this run nicely. It's tied up. Everything's safe. Actually, that's the e-brake cable there. But this has been working great. After doing that, that greatly improved my braking and clearance here. On the other side, I've got a muffler here, so that was the clearance problem I had. Anyway, I'm gonna deal with this wiring under here. All right, here's the offending harness. And if you check it out right here, I've got a splice or a break in the insulation, actually the like loom. And if you see that right there, boom, there's a break in the wire. So that's our problem right there. So I'm gonna cut this back, cut off this cover, and solder those wires together. Some people say that soldering is bad. I think they're dumb. Whatever. Let her rip. Okay, here, I'll let you do it. Rachel wants to light her sweatshirt on fire.
I just want to get the fluffies off. Do you have a better idea?
Girlfriend lights sweatshirt on fire. You won't believe what happens next. Plot twist. Nothing happens next.
It just smells burny.
In other news, I got this wire soldered together, heat shrunk. I did a NASA lap joint there, and she's all good to go. Maybe I'll clean up these ring terminals and like solder these, because these look like garbage. Did you get some success?
I think I need to be more aggressive, but no, I didn't.
In the meantime, my brother's over here LS swapping this 57 Chevy. We're at our parents' house, but this is his shop where he does legit work.
My parents' house is not the shop. He's talking about your shirt.
Yeah, I was looking at your shirt.
Oh.
This thing's, it's kind of a patina car, but you almost can't call it that because it's got a little rot.
It's kind of both.
He's trying to dip the stick right now. So yeah, junkyard LS swap, low budget, 57. Pretty rad.
This thing actually never made it to this motor never made it to the junkyard actually. So.
Oh, you're right. This is a Copart.
No, not Copart.
This is just Craigslist?
Yeah, right from clean title to...
What's this motor from?
He bought a whole truck that had a smashed side of it and from some person, and here it is.
That makes sense then. Anyways, Yeah, that's how you build hot rods. Anyways, I'm gonna slam this wire back in and see if it works. I replaced these ends too, these ring terminals, because they're kind of dirty and nasty, and they're just crimped on, and I don't like crimps. Anyways, so the other thing I did here is I soldered them and I extended the heat shrink down the wire. And so what that does is it provides a strain relief so that it doesn't break right at this point, because you know, solder in the area where it is soldered, it is brittle, and then as it transitions out of that, it's flexible. So you want a strain relief in order to break that up and prevent it from failing right there. The other thing, where I patched it down here, got heat shrink over that, so to provide abrasion resistance against the engine and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna throw this back in the car and see if it runs. So this thing has a fun problem where it likes to periodically blow exhaust gaskets by first vibrating the nut loose and then farting out the exhaust gasket. So I just got the breastplate 10 off here, and got a new exhaust gasket slipped in here. I'm gonna just tighten her up. I guess I could use a ratchet for this.
This is more fun to watch. Oh boy.
These are actually special nuts here. These are brass nuts so that they don't seize onto the exhaust studs. And throughout the entire time I've owned this, they've been pretty good at that. Almost too good, because like I said, they like to fall off every now and then. So I'm gonna go underneath and do the bottom.
Meh.
Getting all cleaned up, ready to go for a drive.
You need to wash your forehead too.
Oh
I don't know how
no.
you got that dirty.
How's that?
It's worse.
Let's roll.
Okay.
Butter smooth. Okay. Well, we'll test drive here after our ignition system repair. We got a fresh wire in there.
Smells a bit burny.
Smells fine to me.
Alright, go on.
Oh yeah, this thing lives on a dirt road. It's great. Oh man, it runs so much better with that exhaust leak fixed.
Imagine that.
Yeah. These mountains are cool though. So, update time. Hot time, I made a video update. Lots of people asked for it on my last video of the Beetle. So it's 2018. I made that video last summer. Since then, I've done lots of autocrosses with this thing, and I made a significant amount of changes. At the end of last year, the sound of my people. So at the end of last year, the significant failure was the brake drum actually broke in half, and my left rear wheel exited stage left. So cut to the footage. It's actually not footage, it's stills, but whatever. Anyways, at the very end of the year last year, I put on disc brakes. I didn't even get a chance to drive it. And then I also had problems with my front struts, and I decided to bite the bullet and buy KWs and for the front suspension. I also determined my inner control arm bushings were worn, so I replaced those with top line Camber Plus bushings, and oh boy, what a difference. This car is completely transformed. So, well, it's incremental, but like it's so much better. Just to recap, new parts are KW Variant 2 coilovers, and it's a coilover in the front, it's just a tube shock in the back. And then Silver Project camber plates, top line Camber Plus bushings, and CB Performance rear disc brake. And the car performs so much better now. I attribute that mostly to the increased spring rate from the KWs. The spring rate, I went from a 70 to drive around because you have less bump anxiety because it's less prone to bottoming out. And then the other thing I would say is getting some camber in the front really helped it hook in the front. So I've got much better steering response. And the other thing is the top line. Figured we'd just get through that a little faster. Yeah, so the top line camber plus bushings, I think also really helped front end response, because you imagine in a low super Beetle like this, your control arm's almost flat. So all your cornering forces are going laterally into that bushing. And so if you don't have a stiff urethane bushing in there, your front end is going to move all around, and not only are you going to have less response in the steering, but you're also going to have camber change as your hub swings through that arc of the strut. So those are some mods that I would highly recommend for anyone looking to have a performance suspension in a Super Beetle. Urethane front control arm bushings, and you know, I would even say get the urethane bushings even if you're doing just a basic street cruiser type thing, because there's such a common failure in this car. The soft rubber ones, they get worn out, and then the control arm pogos in and out, and you get this death wobble. So just get urethane bushings if you've got a Super Beetle. I'd recommend them. And the Camber Plus bushings have a big metal insert in the middle, so they take out some of the even more of the compliance and give you greater camber adjustment. So that's a bonus there.
Do you adjust the idle there?
No. Well, yeah, but yeah, it's idling pretty low. I turned down the idle really low because I wanted to get it as low as possible. First off, because it kind of chops, and that's cool. But second off, because when I'm in the staging lanes at an autocross, it was at like 1500 before, and it was just fuming out the whole staging lanes because it runs really rich. So I turned it down. But yeah, it might have been a mistake because it wants to stall now. Anyways, I think that's it for updates. At this point in the video, I believe we should cut to some in-car footage, but I haven't shot it yet. So, cut to the footage.